Section: Introduction. In this section, we discuss the rapid advancements in natural language processing, particularly the development of large language models, LLMs, over the last decade. We highlight how the introduction of the transformer architecture transformed sequence modeling through self-attention mechanisms, allowing for training on a much larger scale and leading to the emergence of foundation models. OpenAI's GPT series further increased model sizes and datasets, demonstrating that performance improves predictably with larger models and more data. We note that these scaling efforts often resulted in emergent abilities, which are significant improvements in capability not observed in smaller models. Another important advancement is the use of chain-of-thought reasoning, which encourages models to express their intermediate reasoning steps. This approach has enhanced task performance and enabled more complex problem-solving. While most improvements in LLMs have stemmed from scaling and supervised fine-tuning, we recognize that reinforcement learning, RL, has recently shown promise in enhancing reasoning abilities. This has led to the creation of highly capable reasoning models, such as O1 and DeepSeek R1, which excel in tasks requiring logical inference. Through RL fine-tuning, these models have learned to refine their reasoning strategies by identifying mistakes, breaking down complex problems, and exploring alternative solutions. Additionally, the outputs from these reasoning models have been used to enhance smaller models through a process called model distillation. Despite the success of model distillation, we acknowledge a significant gap in understanding how it alters the model. Therefore, we aim to take initial steps to explore how distillation impacts models by addressing three key questions. 1. What unique features do distilled models develop, and how do these relate to their reasoning capabilities? 2. Do distilled models show an increase in unique features as the base model size grows, and how does this change with model size? 3. How does the geometry of features change due to distillation? Are there signs of more organized representations in distilled models compared to their original versions? By examining these aspects, we hope to gain insights into how distillation modifies models, which can enhance the transparency and reliability of AI systems and inform the development of safer, more robust models. The rest of this paper is structured as follows. We will review related literature, introduce the basics of the sparse crosscoder, analyze the unique features of distilled models, explore specific reasoning features and their faithfulness through experiments, examine changes in feature geometry due to distillation, and finally, conclude our findings. In the related works section, we will delve into mechanistic interpretability, which seeks to break down neural networks into understandable components. We will discuss approaches like identifying circuits within models and studying their representations. We will also cover model distillation as a technique for compressing neural networks and transferring knowledge from larger models to smaller ones, exemplified by successful distilled models. Additionally, we will touch on model diffing and steering methods that help in comparing and controlling model outputs. Section Summary. In this section, we discuss the rapid advancements in natural language processing driven by large language models, LLMs, highlighting key breakthroughs such as the transformer architecture, chain-of-thought reasoning, and reinforcement learning, which enhance model capabilities. We also outline our research focus on understanding the effects of model distillation, specifically how it alters reasoning features and geometry, aiming to improve the transparency and reliability of AI systems. Section: Sparse crosscoder. In this section, we introduce sparse crosscoder, a type of sparse autoencoder that helps us explore interactions between different activations, such as those from various models, layers, or context positions. To train our sparse crosscoder using activations from two models, A and B, we calculate the crosscoder feature activation based on the activations of model A at token J and the reconstructed activation. We trained our sparse crosscoder with 32,768 features using 200 million tokens from two datasets, one containing math, science, and code reasoning traces from DeepSeek R1, and the other consisting of general text from the Red Pajama dataset. Our goal was to uncover both reasoning and general text features in the models. We analyzed three distilled models, DeepSeek R1 Distill Quen 1.5b, 7b, and 14b. The crosscoder was designed to reconstruct a specific input stream at the halfway point of each model's depth. To find features unique to each model, we defined the relative decoder norm as the ratio of the L1 norm of the decoder vector for each model. We designated Model A as the base model and Model B as the reasoning model. Shared features correspond to a relative decoder norm of 1, while unique features to the base model approach 0, and unique features to the distilled model approach infinity. We first looked at the distribution of these relative decoder norms and found that most features were shared, with fewer unique features at either end of the distribution. Notably, the average relative norm was higher for the Quen 14b crosscoder, suggesting that larger distilled models may possess more unique features. After sorting features by their relative decoder norm, we identified those unique to the distilled model. We asked GPT-4o Mini to annotate the top and bottom 100 features. Unique features of the distilled models included reasoning capabilities like self-reflection, where the model recognizes potential errors in its thinking and corrects itself, and verification reasoning, where it checks if its answer is correct. We noted that some of the bottom features also activated in reasoning contexts, but we believe the base model's crosscoder simply learned the token, wait. This is supported by our inability to encourage the base model to self-correct more, results from feature ablation experiments, and the observation that the base model does not self-correct as frequently, with lower activation for words like, wait. Next, we examined 4 specific reasoning features: self-reflection, deductive reasoning, alternative reasoning, and contrastive reasoning. We collected activations from target tokens associated with each reasoning type and hypothesized that these features would activate frequently on their related tokens. We plotted the crosscoder features that activated on more than 10% of the maximum firing frequency for these tokens. The distribution of self-reflection features was analyzed, with unique features indicated by their relative decoder norm values. To test the causality of these reasoning features, we conducted ablation experiments. We zeroed out features with a relative decoder norm greater than 0.5 and those firing in the top frequency ranges for each reasoning category. We then measured the average change in logit across randomly selected target tokens. Our results showed that the distilled model's target logit dropped significantly after ablation, while the base model's logit remained unchanged. This indicates that certain reasoning features are causally linked to reasoning performance in distilled models, with smaller effects in base models. We also discovered that we could steer the distilled model into overthinking or incisive thinking modes. By adding the self-reflection feature's decoder vector, the model entered overthinking mode, where it pondered simple questions for an extended period, checking its answers multiple times. Conversely, activating the deductive feature led the model to be more confident and decisive in its responses. For instance, while the original distilled models took a long time to solve polynomial division, the steered model quickly identified the solution when it recognized a factor. Section Summary. In this section, we explore the sparse crosscoder, a model that analyzes interactions between activations from different models and layers, focusing on unique reasoning features in distilled models. Our findings reveal that larger distilled models exhibit more unique reasoning capabilities, such as self-reflection and deductive reasoning, which are less pronounced in base models, and we demonstrate the causal impact of these features through ablation experiments. Section: Feature Geometry of Distilled Models. In this section, we explore whether distilled models have better feature geometry. One reason for the enhanced capabilities of large language models, LLMs, could be that these models create more effective representations, similar to how we improve our understanding by connecting ideas and organizing knowledge. To examine if distilled models have more structured representations, we assess the quality of semantic parallelograms, like the classic example of man to woman being similar to king to queen. We utilize a dataset that pairs words related by a specific function. By taking 2 pairs from the same function class, we can form a semantic parallelogram. We then calculate the parallelogram loss, which involves using the activations from the model's half-depth layer, reducing these representations to 20 dimensions, and evaluating the loss across all possible pairs of single token entries. Our findings, illustrated in a figure, show that while the base model generally performs better than the distilled model in the QWEN 1.5b case, the distilled model begins to surpass the base model as the model size increases. Notably, the 14b distilled model demonstrates superior parallelogram performance compared to the base model across all function classes we evaluated. This suggests that as the model size grows, distilled models develop better structured representations, leading to improved performance. Additionally, we confirm in the appendix that this structural improvement remains consistent regardless of the number of PCA dimensions we select.